At this point, I'd like to bring up Mr. Elton Green, who, on behalf of the Cultural Diversity Committee, there we go, has a minute in the sun. So, Elton, up to the microphone, please.
Good evening. Tonight I'd like to talk about maybe the first encounter I had with Dr. Martin Luther King. When I say encounter, I mean close encounter. I didn't touch him in any way, but I was very close to him. The day of the March on Washington, out in front of a Canon camera frame, wanted to photograph that whole day down in Washington. So he funded my family and myself to go down to Washington, and he took pictures all the way down to the station. We was on the train and everything. We got to the station and all the way up to the Lincoln Memorial there. Not the Lincoln Memorial, where Lincoln was sitting. And I was right there in front with King, maybe about 10 feet, 15 feet from me. And I noticed the commotion going on. And we almost didn't get that speech because he was talking with some people and he didn't quite want to put all the emphasis on it. But he broke it out and gave it to the people, and now it's one of the most publicized speeches we have in America. But it almost didn't happen. And I didn't meet him. I got close to him. I could almost touch him, but I never met the man. And that was my first encounter with him. I will tell you about another one later on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Green. And very appropriate as we are celebrating Black History Month this month also. All right, so moving on, there's no mayor's report. City manager's report, please.
Thank you, Mayor Strain, members of the council. Briefly tonight, we have a few work sessions upcoming. The first scheduled for March 9th, 3 p.m. in the conference room, and that's our normal update review work session. On the 10th, we also have a work session also at 3 p.m. in the conference room, and that will be regarding our community development block grant project requests and prioritization. And then on the 23rd, also at 3 p.m. in the conference room is another update work session. Just a couple of projects tonight. We advertised our wastewater facility electrical rewiring project on February 8th, and the bids for that are due on March 4th. And then the Country Club Park project was advertised on February 15th, and bids are due on March 17th. And I know we had 9 contractors for a pre-bid meeting on that, so we're expecting to get some very competitive bids for that project. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you, Mayor Strain.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Patuchik. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Mr. Reardon, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the consent agenda, consisting of approval of the regular City Council meeting minutes of February 12th, 2009, Resolution 2009-026, an application for extension of premises patio permit for Marie Bowling doing business as Sorry Gulch Saloon, Resolution 2009-027, acceptance of Deceleration Lane, Cochise Plaza, Resolution 2009-028, acceptance of right-of-way for Maccabee Street, and Resolution 2009-029, acceptance of public sewer for Holiday Inn be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? It's unanimous. Item number 3 is public hearing item. Mr. Hampton, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that Resolution 2009-030, amending Chapter 94, City Code of Ordinances, Park Rules, and declaring a 30-day public record be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Harry?
Mayor Strain, Mayor Pro Tem Mueller.
As you know, during May of last year, the council went ahead and suggested that we needed to look at Chapter 94 of the City Code of Ordinances, the park rules. Reasons being a number of different things have come up over the years. There have been changes to Sierra Vista 2020, renaming and reclassing how we determine what size parks are under what classification and so forth. And the Parks and Recreation Committee met approximately 7 times. We had some members of the public at those meetings. We talked about a number of issues. We've went through 2 or 3 different drafts, went through the city attorney, got his input on these things, and basically it was a 10-month journey. We researched what other communities did. We added some language to help clarify the existing language so everybody's pretty much on the up and up, and the idea was to make things as fair and equitable for everybody that wants to use a public park. The documents, probably based on the recommendations of the Parks and Recreation Commission, should be reviewed every 4 or 5 years as things change. And if you approve it tonight, this resolution will make the park rules a public record for 30 days, and at the end of that 30 days, public will have an opportunity to take a look at what's in there and at the changes, and it will come back to council for a final resolution.
Comments of council?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I noticed that we have some students in the audience who are taking notes tonight, and you might want to look at those park regulations and rules because they do have to say something about what time the parks close and when you will need to be going home. So those are things that are included in that, as well as the kinds of activities. And what are some of the other things about who can be in the park and what kinds of activities as well? Does it cover that?
There were some freedom of speech issues. Okay. There was political uses, public uses, and the rights of the renters and so forth. So it was pretty well outlined in the Sierra Vista Herald article.
But it's an interesting document. If you need to look at a document for your studies and your reports, I think that you would enjoy seeing what the City Council and the Commission has put together. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And keeping in mind that the council has already had rather extensive work session on this topic, and now we go into a 30-day review for public comment. With that, all in favor? Thank you.
Thank you very much.